And then, yes, that looks good. Then I ask for a big round of applause for Mr. Böhmer and warmly welcome him.
Perfect. Hello. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here at the Transform and exciting presentation so far. Exactly. Today I'm allowed to talk about ERP with low code and the future of automation. Let's see where we end up. Exactly. I'll just start with a simple topic that you all have probably seen from one perspective or another, or have had contact with, the IT project. Whenever a company wants to position itself innovatively, streamline its processes, optimize workflows, then the question often arises, do I need some kind of software to support all this? And do I buy it off the shelf from the market, or do I build it myself? Do I have it built for me? And you probably also know the advantages and disadvantages. The standard software works approximately as needed, but maybe not quite perfectly. Then I somehow build the processes around it, or I end up investing in large IT customizing projects. Or yes, I take the full freedom, so to speak, to have my very own customer solution built, or to build it myself. And that sounds promising, but often it ends in tears, yes, because the projects then run for a very long time, go beyond the time frame, exceed the budget, and in the end, not always exactly what was originally imagined or hoped for comes out. And for some time now, there has been a newer approach for this, and we call it low code. And yes, what does low code mean? Low code basically means I can build custom software, but in a much more efficient way. Yes, and why is it more efficient, or how can it be more efficient? Precisely because low-code products generally require little code, as the name suggests, and offer a lot from the standard, allowing you to often build your user interfaces with visual tools, so to speak, using drag and drop, model your data, and incorporate integrations. And it also leads to a much closer collaboration between the people in the company who know the problem very well, understand the processes well, and actually know what they want. The employees in the specialist department and the technical experts who then work with such a low-code solution and perhaps also implement the detailed business rules in code. And finally, low-code often means lower costs because you generate very, very little code, making the maintainability of such a solution easier. And the platform usually fulfills a lot from the standard, yes. And the topic of low code, that was you probably all know this Gartner hype cycle. So that was around 2019, I would say. That was the mega trend. So a lot of products emerged. And 2019, that was when we all still had to, yes, go to the office for work, right? And there was also the question, is this now a toy? Yes, is it something that I might use to try something out or to prototype something? Is it really somehow stable enough? Does it scale? Is it secure? And so on. And I think by now, 2025, one can say low code is truly ready for production. Yes, there are very established providers in the market that deal with very different complex topics. For example, if you need a website, our own website is completely built with Webflow, a product that makes it very easy to build websites. There are tools that make it very easy to build apps, mobile apps, for example. There's the topic of integration. So if you want to bring systems together, need to exchange data, there are the so-called integration platforms that make this much easier than it was before. Yes, and you can build integrations very, very quickly. And finally, there is the integration platform that, so to speak, full stack, yes, through the entire technical stack, provides the opportunity to build customized applications And we do this for internal business applications, yes. That means everything that is in the area of core processes, standard processes in a company, applications that are mainly used by internal employees. That's what our platform is designed for. And first and foremost, we are, of course, a SaaS provider. Yes, that means we take care of all hosting, operational aspects, monitoring, data protection, data security, backups, etc. And on this technical basis, we offer the possibility to build user interfaces, to build complex data models, to build complex business rules. We integrate with all kinds of systems via APIs. We have our own APIs, we can interact with APIs. And a specific topic for us is the topic of documents, as we are often involved in traditional processes that are still very document heavy, like quotes, invoices, etc. All of this can be built very well with our platform, so to speak. And then on this use case, agnostic basis, we also offer standard modules that are pre-configured for certain processes. Finally, all of this runs, of course, on the web, naturally on mobile devices, and is also offline capable. So, and with this, we serve 6,000 customers worldwide with a strong base, certainly a strong base here in the German-speaking markets, but also Western Europe, North America, and across almost all industries. And to make the whole thing more tangible, perhaps a customer example, this is the company Knauer. Knauer is a typical, hidden champion, so a market leader in a niche. In this case, it's about the analysis of substances in the pharmaceutical sector or in food production. And Knauer itself has a complex product, yes. So they don't sell a standard product like in a shoebox, but it is highly customized, configured by specialized sales staff on site with the customer. And Knauer faced the challenge of digitizing this sales process and enabling the sales staff to create the exact configuration on site, then prepare the offer and get it approved. And a standard CRM can't handle this, you see, because CRM mainly deals with sales processes, but topics like feasibility checks or bill of materials, which were relevant here, were not possible with a standard CRM. In this respect, Knauer was able to implement a highly customized solution independently with our platform, without internal IT, without significant support from service providers. However, many of our customers also work with service providers to have solutions built. So, and now, I think we've heard this countless times, that's why I'm bringing it up here. There is, of course, a trend now that has been dominating a lot for maybe 3 or 4 years. The topic of artificial intelligence, generative artificial intelligence, large language models, whatever you want to call it. And they have all sorts of strengths and weaknesses, but surprisingly, they are becoming increasingly competent, especially in one area, namely in the creation of software. And of course, the question for us was, what does this mean now? Do we still need low code? Will there even be code or programmers in the future? Yes. Does AI generate all of this? Or how might it all work together? Can it complement each other? And the answer that we have found, at least as of today, is that these topics can indeed complement each other very, very well. And I would perhaps like to briefly illustrate this to you with a slide first. As I have already shown, low-code platforms take care of a lot of technical basic issues. Yes, the scaling, the infrastructure, the operation, data protection, data security, user management, so to speak, all of this comes out of the box. The question of what a client for a business application fundamentally looks like, how data is fundamentally managed in a database. All of this is provided by the platform out of the box, so to speak. And that makes it easier for us humans to build applications very quickly at this high level of abstraction. And interestingly, this not only helps us humans, but it also helps a large language model just as well, which now doesn't have to fully deal with all these concerns, but can, so to speak, play around in a relatively limited, yet very flexible, perhaps playground, so in a limited but flexible environment. And with that, we can also address the existing limitations that we still have today with large language models in the field of software development, like coherence. So if you have very large software projects, the language model usually cannot fully comprehend and ensure that everything fits together. The topic of the context window, yes, how much, so to speak, how much information, how much code fits into the working memory, into the context window of a language model. All of this is somewhat mitigated here through low code. And that's perhaps enough theory for now, because I would like to simply show you how this could look in practice. And yes, we are now here in the low-code platform Linux. We can start by I'll first show you how it would basically work if we were to build a simple solution here. Let's say I want to manage my customers. Then I can create a table for customers here via the user interface, so to speak. Let's say these are corporate customers. They have somehow a company, a website, and maybe also an address. Yes. So a very, very simple model, but this might already show you how, as an end user, you can develop simple applications with a low-code platform completely without code, and configure the user interface here via drag and drop, so to speak. So how does an LLM come into play now? Can a large language model help me here with the creation? And we tried that out and integrated our Nina here. And let's say a simple use case for customers. If I want to manage customer data, then I usually also need a list of contacts. And I'll try now to see if it works here. I still need a list. Okay. I still need a list of contacts. There. So, and what basically happens now is we have the language model. We are using Claude in the background. Here, the current 3.7 Sonnet. We have basically communicated how our environment fundamentally works, what possibilities there are, and how you can also create new data models via scripting. And this code, so to speak, that the model has generated here, I can also execute directly. And now you can see, so to speak, I have actually generated a new table here, and the model has correctly recognized that these contacts belong to the customers. Yes, so it has already understood the basic relationships here. Well, and now I can also work with it directly. Perhaps as an introductory use case. And the exciting thing is you can also work with it iteratively. Yes, that means I don't always have to. This is the classic one-shot problem. I have to say once at the beginning what I want, and then it either works out or it doesn't, but it works very nicely iteratively. But we can also try how it would be if I approach it a bit more freely. I'll call this a demo. We still have just a few more minutes, you know, and let's start again a little bit. So in this case, I actually don't really know how this platform works. The only thing I know is that I want to manage customer data and see what the model makes of it. I want to manage customer relationships. So now, there's always a lot of explanation coming along with it, so to speak. This might also be the educational aspect, yes, to fundamentally understand how such a solution would be structured, right? And we have found that the model is sometimes almost a bit over-ambitious, so it really tries to incorporate a lot of aspects here. Of course, with more precise prompting or something, you can already specify more exactly what you need. And I hope it works now. It's a demo. It doesn't always work, but in this case, apparently it does. Right. And here is the summary again. So we should have customers, contacts, activities, tasks, sales opportunities, and products. So that's basically the core data model of a typical CRM. Yes, that's already relatively well captured, I would say. And we can also take a look inside. Aha, so there are relationships between the customers and sales opportunities. And it's too tedious for me to fill all of that out manually. That's why I would say insert sample data again. So, and now you can see, so to speak, convincing data sets are generated here for the customers, for example, and also for the related tables. So these connections, these relations, and so on. The model understands relatively well what it has to do here now. It would even work. We can try that again once this is finished. To introduce real customer data. That means if I want to generate a lead list, for example, then the AI can actually help me research these leads. We haven't yet integrated any tooling here to conduct web research, but Claude knows quite a few companies from its own resources, for example. So such data sets would also be generated. But as we just heard, there's always the question, is this now hallucinated or not? In other words, you have to be a bit cautious and know what you're doing. So, now let's try again to see if it works. So you see, something is actually happening in the background, and I'm just clicking through it. So now let's see what we have here. There is a company called Tag Solutions GmbH with various contacts and activities, all interconnected. So this is perhaps a small taste of how low-code and AI could interact in the future.
Ninox.